computers, internet, social media. We millennials make use of technology the best compared to previous generations. But is it really for the best? We use our phones for everything, even for school. We watch news or cooking tips. We watch YouTube, not a newspaper or a cookbook. We want to be a programmer. We watch TikTok to find some tips videos. We want to play a game. We watch a video of a gameplay. It's all about a video. There is a video for everything, right? So how does that work? When my parents were young, they had to wait for everything, even for the simplest things. There was this interesting picture in the newspaper, but nobody was going to read them the news. So they had to read the whole story. So what if they only read half of the story? Maybe they would went to the neighbor's house and tell them about the news. I'm sure that they were quite clever enough to say, but I only read half of the news. Maybe you should recheck what I just said. That's why there was no such thing as a hot. But now, we are all impatient. When a story or a movie lasts longer than 5 minutes, we Google the ending. Why not? The internet has everything we want anytime we want it. That's why people these days are so impatient. We have a short attention span. Here's another funny point. What if I tell you that by reading, you can actually build friendship? Will you believe me? I have an uncle who was very adventurous. He traveled every corner of Sumatra without a tour guide. There was no tour guide. The only way he could do this is just by reading maps. He invited his friends to a road trip. They all went with their own motorbikes. Since there was no such thing as a GPS, no one will tell them, "You will arrive your destination in 1545. In 300 meters, turn left." The only thing he heard was, "Hayo, abang ah, did you even read the map? Go back, U-turn lah, U-turn. Hayo bang, faster lah." Yep, his friends at the back were the Google Maps. Since a lot of people make mistakes in that age, so no one will sleep during the journey. Only left the driver or the rider. So when the road went weird, they will all take out their maps and read it together. Isn't that just beautiful? It's even intimate. Now, my uncle's friend will come over in 5 minutes with a phone call. Will your friends come over in 5 minutes with a phone call? If they want, maybe you guys need to read more maps together. The most interesting benefit of reading comes from my grandfather. In his high schools, he loves reading books. That kind of books where people don't read today. Chinese history books. He's loved by everyone. He is the star at home, especially for his grandsons. Because whenever there's a family gathering, he would sit among his grandchildren, telling them the story of the 3 kingdoms. It's a Chinese war story about love, loyalty, and dreams. Dear millennials, how many of us are loved by kids? Do you want to be popular? Then read some stories and retell them. Books are our memory hubs. It's a bridge for us to travel back and forth between the past and the present. Whenever we read the book, we left a little piece of us inside that will always be there whenever we open the book again. Because sometimes when I decided to read my old books again, when I flip and breathe through the pages, I felt like I was a little kid again. The book treated me and inspired me like a little kid. I even imagine when I'm old, will I remember those precious moments? Maybe I will write my experience on joining a competitions in my diary, so when I'm old, I can feel what today felt like. So yes, I believe something magical can happen by reading a book. Basically, books can be anything you want them to be. A teaching tool for teachers, a sea of knowledge for lifetime learners, a sword and shield for students facing out their exams, and a weapon to smash a cockroach or a lizard. Ladies and gentlemen, reading takes a lot of time for us millennials. It is no way more interesting than YouTube or TikTok. But there are 3 things I learned from reading. The first is, good things take time. So if you aren't willing to read a book fully, then you won't understand the content fully. The second thing is, by reading together, life will be fun. Why don't we put our cell phones for a while and go to a cafe or outdoor space, enjoying the silence of nature? The last is, by reading, you have opened a new world in your life. So why don't you go to a bookshop, find a dusty old book that looks interesting? That's what I'm trying to do. After I found that kind of book and I make the story to life, I am sure that a lot of people will look different at me and start calling me Alvaro, the storyteller.